What is going on, YouTube? Back with the Prez. It's Monday, start of a new week. Typically, this is my second workout of the week. I train legs on Sunday, but yesterday was the first Sunday that I decided I just needed to take off. And this whole week of training is going to be a deload week. Very rarely do you see me bringing you deload week training videos. Me personally, I'm not one to actually just focus on strict deload weeks. Typically, they just end up falling into my routine, mainly, when I travel here and there, but these last couple months since, March 1st, I started the 100 pulls a day challenge, and then started April 1st, I started the handstand push-ups every day. And remember what I always say, guys, volume takes its toll, right? Remember, the more reps you do, it's just like adding mileage to your body. Remember, I always use this analogy, right? Remember, I'm runner A, we got runner B next to me. We're the two best runners in the world on the same team. We're going out for a training day. I say I'm going to run 20 blocks. Person B says he's going to only run 10 blocks. Even though we're running at the same minute-mile pace, me running the 20 blocks versus him running the 10 blocks, I'm going to get more tired just because I ran an extra 10 blocks, right? It's the same thing with volume. Volume adds up. I did 30, well, it was supposed to be 3,100 pull-ups for the whole month of March. I ended up doing 3,600 on top of everything because I started 5 days early. 20 handstand push-ups a day for the first week of April, 25 every day last week. Again, it's mileage building up. So yesterday when it was time to go and do train legs, my legs were still sore from last Wednesday's workout. That's when you know that your nervous system and the recovery isn't on par with your training, right? If you're that sore for that many days after your training, you know that your recovery is getting hindered, right? Remember, I've been on a cut, lower energy. When the calories aren't there, recovery is going to be harder and harder. Remember, when you're in an abundance of energy, an abundance of calories, and you're in a surplus, you can almost train every single day because you have so much cushion room for recovery, right? All those extra nutrients, they just get partitioned to help you recover. Even if you're putting on body fat, whatever, you feel better and more, inclined to train. When you're in a lower, energy state, when you're in a little bit of a deficit, naturally all those reserves are getting, we're burning fat. So there's not much reserves left to, to get prioritized for recovery, right? That's why recovery is very important. So this is going to be a deload type of week, right? Meaning, so most people think deload means you have to take the whole week off. You can do that. Studies have shown you can take a full week off every 6 weeks and you will not lose gains, right? You can take one full week off every 6 weeks and you will not lose any gains, right? Compared to the person who continuously trains, at the end of 6 months, A and B are going to be at the same point, right? Even with the person taking a week off every 6 weeks. It's needed for the body, right? Especially if you're training hard. But again, you don't have to take a full week off. And again, deload also does not mean that you have to just do lighter weight, although you can do lighter weight. Deload just means you have to lower the overall mileage and the intensity being placed on the body. So I'm actually going to push some weight today. I'm going to go for lower volume training, so the intensity, meaning the loads, are going to be a little bit higher. Except I'm only going to be doing 2 sets per exercise, very low volume. You can still push heavy weight on a deload week. But instead, let's just say you're used to doing 3 sets of 5. You do 1 set of 5, or maybe 2 sets of 3 only, right? Or if you're used to doing 5 sets of 5 for a typical movement, cut it down to 3 sets of 5 or 2 sets of 5, right? Cut your overall volume down in half. So if I usually do 3 or 4 sets, I'm only going to do 2 sets. And today, everything 2 sets. They're going to be hard sets, but just 2 sets. And I'm not going to hit that many muscle groups, right? I'm just going to do the most bang for your buck exercises, get in, get out, and I'll train probably 3 days this week total, and then next week start back fresh, maybe start a new routine, guys. So stay tuned. Like I said, a deload routine today. We're still going to push. Today's going to be full body style. Let's get it. All right, so starting the routine off top to bottom here. We're going to start with some high Smith machine incline bench press. Right now, this variation, I'm extremely vertical. So we're getting a ton of upper chest engagement and a ton of shoulder engagement, right? This covers all bases for overhead pressing as well as bench pressing, right? This is going to give the most bang for your buck. This seated 1 degree back variation, you're going to get a crazy stimulus. Again, you're going to see it here, guys. The second set, I was able to take the shirt off. I just put a shirt on the pad, and you can see each repetition here how much upper chest is getting involved. Look at the engagement right there. It's almost isolating completely the upper chest, the clavicle area, and a ton of that front delt. And again, another good thing about the Smith machine is control the weight very safely, and you could take it to failure. That was rep 4. And again, even though it's a deload week, Smith machine, less overall stability, easier on the nervous system. And this push right here, this grind, that hard-ass rep right there, that last rep, again, even though it's a deload week, that's not going to stress the nervous system as much as if I was doing a standing barbell overhead press, or if I was doing a grinding out weighted dip, right? That seated variation of the movement on the Smith machine, no less. Again, it takes a lot of the moving parts and a lot of the variables that make the movement harder out of the equation, right? The stability and all that. Like I said, it's going to be full body routine style, guys. So, and very low volume. Like I said, it's a deload. So I'm just hitting 2 sets of everything. So here, second movement, weighted pull-ups. Last week I did 35 pounds, 3 sets of 10 strict. Today, just 40 pounds, 2 sets of 8. 3 sets of 10 is 30 total reps. 2 sets of 8 is only 16. So the volume is being cut down in half. I'm still able to push the weight, but again, lowering the overall volume. Third movement, now we're going to isolate the chest a little bit. I got the weighted backpack on for some weighted push-ups. I have 85 pounds in there, and you guys are going to see the weights when I take them out. Again, just 2 sets of everything today, guys. 2 hard sets where we're stimulating the muscle, stimulating the nervous system, but nothing taken to failure. The only set that was taken pretty much close to failure was that Smith incline, but again, that's on the Smith machine, so I don't have my whole nervous system and my coordination firing up at the end, really making it a limiting factor. So again, 2 sets of the weighted push-ups. Again, this is 85 pounds. We just did 2 sets of 8. Keeping reps in reserve here. It's those stressed out reps at the end, especially when you're doing these closed chain movements that can, again, take a toll on the nervous system. Closed chain versus open chain. Calisthenics, always closed chain, right? And if you're grinding those calisthenic hard reps, you know, weighted dips, weighted pulls, your whole nervous system, everything's going to be shaking and firing up, right? So if you're going really close to failure with weighted calisthenics, it will have its toll on you, right? So no failure here. And here I'm just showing you guys how much weight I had loaded up. These are the first 2 25s coming out, so that's 50. And then a 35, so 85 pounds on the back. Again, not anything max. I could probably do 160 on my back, but not that many reps. And then we finished the main compound movements. Like I said, we're hitting the main bang for our buck exercises today, and we're going to hit them, and we're going to hit them pretty hard, so, or with decent load. So last week on leg day, like I was talking about in my intro, what got me super lit was when I did those 245. I hit a volume PR of 8 reps. So typically if it was a leg day for me on Wednesday, I would have pushed this 255 again for volume. But again, it's deload. 255, we're just hitting 2 sets of 3 reps. We could tell the nervous system, okay, these are the loads that we want to use and that we're going to be using, but we don't have to push it to the extreme, right? That's the purpose of a deload. We're taking a step back, like I said. I'm not frying myself up. I'm allowing stimulus to happen. I'm allowing recovery to happen, more importantly, right? We're allowing the body to recover. And more often than not, when people come out of these deload weeks, or even during the deload week themselves, you're going to notice that you might look a little more fuller. You might start feeling stronger and stronger. You might think, oh, let's push it. Ride the whole week out, right? Ride the 5-day back off period off. And then when you go back on that fresh the next week, you're going to crush it. You're going to hit PR after PR. And now we're just going to finish the routine off with some isolation for arms. We're going to do 2 sets of biceps and 2 sets of triceps. Cable curls here. The first set I hit 140. Typically I'm doing 140 for 10s to 12. I caught 8 there, and it was relatively easy. So I upped it, 150. It's the first time I'm doing 150 on the cable curl, so it's a PR. But again, I'm not taking it to failure. And even if I did this movement, it's not going to be so detrimental to recovery or anything. It's just on the biceps. Biceps recover relatively easy, especially for me. Biceps have always been a strong point for me, right? That's why I don't have to train them that often. So 140, 150, 2 sets of 8, and then we just finish the routine off with 1 set of tricep pushdowns, guys. Look, if you like the content I've been dropping, like the video. It helps your algorithm out. Share it with your friends and your family. Let me know in the comments section if you hit this workout and how you felt afterwards. And if you want to keep training smart and making progress, hit that subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
No sad story, I ain't here for a symphony, no sympathy. When I was on the bench, you wouldn't sit with me. Now I'm on the court and I'm balling, my time's coming.